What up YouTube, I'm back. So another great episode of Attack on Titan, the final season, and this episode was mostly about flashback from Reiner's point of view, which was interesting, because we know some things about Reiner, how he has a double personality at some point and everything, but we learned a lot more about him and about the other kid warriors that he grew up with. So the kids that Reiner grew up with was Marcel and Galliard, the two brothers, then Bertold, Annie, and Peck. There was also Zeke, which was interesting because it seems like he isn't that much older than the warrior kids, so that's pretty cool. But one of the things that we learned the most about Reiner in this week's episode is that he was the weakest one of all the kid warriors, which was interesting because right now in the present day, Reiner is a lot more sure of himself. He's a lot more like a leader, but as a kid he was the weakest one. He was the one that was getting bullied basically by Galliard, which was pretty cool to learn. So obviously Reiner was the one that was chosen to become the armored titan instead of Galliard, and the only reason why he was chosen is because Marcel was feeding the upper echelon soldiers information about Reiner and his brother, so that his brother wouldn't become one of the Titan shifters, because he didn't want his brother to become a Titan so that he could die 13 years later. So that's the only reason why Reiner was chosen to become the armored Titan, which is kind of sad, because obviously he was the weakest one, but he still wanted to become a warrior. And then he learned that the only reason that he became a warrior was because of Marcel, so that was kind of sad in a way. We also got to see a younger Zeke, which was pretty cool, before the beard and everything. So yeah, that was cool. But another thing that we got to see in this week's episode was basically the Marleyan explaining every Titan that they had in their possession, their skills and everything, and why they chose these kid warriors to become them, like Reiner, Bertold, Annie, and Zeke especially. So I thought that was pretty cool. The only thing that we really learned about these Titans is that the card Titan has a lot of endurance, so that's the reason why Peck was able to stay in a Titan form for like 2 months without turning back into a human. And then the Jaw Titan obviously has a pretty strong jaw and is pretty quick. Obviously we got to see once again Marcel save Reiner from Ymir, and every time I see that scene, the only thing that I'm thinking about is why didn't Marcel transform into his Jaw Titan form to save Reiner instead of just pushing him and then getting eaten by Ymir. I just think it's stupid in a way. Maybe it wasn't going to be fast enough, but I always think, why didn't Marcel do that? After that scene, we kind of saw how Reiner just ran away from where Marcel died, basically leaving Annie and Bertold to die in a way. Then we saw Annie and Bertold catch up to him, and Annie was pretty mad, because he's the reason why Marcel is dead right now, and he just ran away, so she just starting to beat him up bad. And another reason why she was mad is because he only cares about himself. Annie wanted to go back to Marley because of how the mission kind of failed. They lost their leader, they lost the Jaw Titan, but Reiner didn't want to go back because he knew that they would steal his armored Titan power, and then he would die, so he's only thinking about himself, and that's the reason why Annie was even more mad. That scene just showed us who Reiner truly was when he was a kid. He even convinced Bertold and Annie to not go back to Marley because they would get killed too, so I thought that it was crazy to see how intent Reiner was to not go back to Marley before getting the founding Titan back. We also saw that they went to the Wall Maria without Annie in a way, because I think Reiner actually kind of took her out before they attacked Wall Maria, so it was only Reiner and Bertold that attacked the wall. So that's the reason why we didn't see the female Titan in the first and second episode of the series. But yeah, man, it was an amazing scene, the best scene overall of the episode in my opinion. But anyway, man, another thing that I really liked is when they infiltrated the wall, we kind of saw how they got information, and it was by using Annie. She was getting further into the wall to see where the founding titan was, and at some point she was following someone, and that someone was Kenny, which was pretty cool because I really didn't think that we would get to see Kenny again in the series, but we got to see him, and then we saw that Kenny saw that she was following him, and she was basically saying that she was his illegitimate daughter, which was kind of funny, but she escaped, but I kind of thought that it was pretty cool that Annie was the one to get the information. I really like his disguise. It was pretty cool seeing her with glasses and a hat and everything, and it was pretty cool in general to see Annie, because it's been a while since we've seen her. She's still in that crystal in the scouts headquarters, I think. So we haven't gotten a lot of Annie in the last 3 seasons. We also got a new scene with Eren and Reiner, when they were training with their gear when they were cadets, so I thought that was pretty cool. Eren was basically asking Reiner how he does this, because he wasn't really good at the omnidirectional 3D thing, so he asked Reiner for help, and Reiner basically said to not give up and everything. So I thought it was a really cool scene because these two are some of my two favorite characters in the show. I hated Reiner at some point, but then I understood him and I kind of like him right now, but then the flashback ended and we saw Reiner try to kill himself with a shotgun, which I don't think was surprising because he's been through a lot. He lost Bertolt, he lost Marcel, he kind of lost Annie too. He doesn't know if she's dead, but we know that she's been captured by the scouts. So he's been through a lot, but he was going to get killed if it wasn't for Falco, I think. So yeah, man, that was a pretty emotional scene, just seeing him try to kill himself. The last thing that we're going to talk about is the conversation that Falco had with another man, which was a pretty cool conversation because the other man was basically saying why there needs to be war, why it needs to go that far because it messed up a lot of people, and I thought that was a pretty cool conversation overall and pretty relevant to what's coming next. I'm not going to tell y'all what's coming next for the animes only because I've read a little bit of this arc in the manga, so I know what's going on, but if y'all actually listen, it's you'll know who it is because of the voice actor, and then in that shot right there we kind of see who that might be, so that's all I'm gonna say. But it's getting really hyped. I can't wait for next week's episode because it's going down. But yeah, it was a pretty good episode before the beginning of the arc, really, for me. So yeah, it was flashback and everything, but it was the calm before the storm, basically. So let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below. Let me know what you think is gonna happen next. I do Attack on Titan the final season reviews every Sunday, so subscribe for that. But I also do other anime related things like Black Clover review that is coming back January 5th, so stay tuned. I do Jujutsu Kaisen reviews on Fridays, then I do One Piece reviews usually on Saturdays. It's coming back next week, so stay tuned. I also do both Naruto Ninja Generation reviews on Sunday morning. So yeah, there's also Dr. Stone and The Promised Neverland coming back in January the 7th and 14th. So it's getting good, man. There's a lot of content on my channel. Like, comment, subscribe. It would help my channel a lot, and follow me at Anime Specialist on Twitter and Instagram, man. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.